Hey, it's Nina.
And Ashley back with the bullshit.
And this is the Young and Gettin It podcast, episode 58. That's kind of intense. We're getting up there finally. I remember when we were starting as a podcast and like the podcasts that I liked that were also like, I would say like smaller podcasts. I'd be like, oh my God, they're already on episode 79. Oh my gosh. It's like, we're almost there. See, growth. That's what a year makes. Growth. So just so you guys know, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. Just search Young and Getting It podcast. There is no G at the end of getting because we are young millennials, and this podcast is for young millennials, minorities, disadvantaged communities, and generally everyone. But you know what I'm saying. Please subscribe on there, rate and review, and thank you for the reviews we've gotten so far. Please review on there. It's great for us. Also, we're on soundcloud.com/WeAreYagip. Please follow us on there, comment, and we'll comment back. Thank you for the subscribers on there too, because we don't look and then we're like, whoa, when did this happen?
Right?
So thank you so much for your listens. Also, youtube.com, just search Young and Getting It podcast. There is no G at the end of getting. Please subscribe on there and comment on our videos.
Yeah, and so this is a woke people only podcast, and you can also find us on our Instagram at YAGI_podcast, or you could go to our website www.weareyagip.com, and then if you would like to get in touch with us, you can hit us up on our email, Ashleyandninapod@gmail.com, or our Google Voice number, which is 323-486-3811. Back to the bullshit.
All right, so we're back again. One thing I was about to tell Ashley before we started taping, I don't know what article it was, but I'm like, Kylie and Jay-Z have the same net worth? That's really just hard to look at. It's hard, but at the same time, Kylie had a family. Like, her mom really did work for her to help her become successful. And it's not like I'm mad at Chris. I wish Chris was my manager.
Me too.
You know, so it's like Kylie had that jump start, whereas Jay-Z grew up in the Marcy projects and had to sell crack.
This nigga was a drug dealer.
He had to sell crack and probably shoot at
risking
people.
his freedom.
Went to jail for sure until his rapping, got him heard of, and now he's where he is now. So, parents, that shows that if you back your kids and help them out and always help them elevate and always work, not work for them as in they're like lazy and you're doing all the work, but for example, some people's parents don't just sit down with them at the computer and help them apply for school. All you have to say is, and mind you, Cal States, we're from California, so this is biased to California, but Cal States are really easy to apply to. You don't really have to do a lot. So it's like, there's a lot of people who, if their parents just sat down with them and said, okay, let's just fill this out, which I think my dad did. Just being like, let's just fill this out. Okay, let's see if you get into a college.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't get into college. Let's fill out the JC stuff. Or, you need a job. Let me drive you around the shopping center and you could pick out an application from every store. Some parents just don't want to do that and they're so wrapped up in their own bullshit. I'm not dissing parents, but it's just showing that it does help if you are in your child's life helping them, because Kylie almost deserves what she got. I'll say almost, but she has done a lot for herself, so I'm not gonna hate on her too hard,
like, she just used what she had to get what she needed. Like, she's used the money that she had to start a business. Like, that's the smartest thing that you can do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't really knock her for doing that. So the fact that she does have all the money that she has, great for her, but it's just the fact that they're both in the same category. That's just what's so crazy. Yeah, because it's just like two different walks of life. But I guess like the end result is the same no matter the circumstances that they had.
Right.
So they both deserve it. So and it's just a little,
it's just hard. It's just hard to look at. It's believable. It's hard, but now you were saying like, they're in the same place now, and I was just saying also before we started taping, I like watching the Real Housewives because I remember when they were broke and then or just well off but not rich, and to watch them 12 years later, some of them are so rich, just off of just being on the Real Housewives, and even though some people hate that show, I look at it as like everyone's getting rich in different ways at different times at different points, doing everything's different. So why would I believe that I can't be in the same place? Not saying that I need a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or a Maybach,
it'd be nice to have
but
one.
It would be and it's like, maybe if I keep working as hard as I'm working now, I'm not saying that I need to be like 3 jobs right now, just working, studying, working, studying,
like the slow grind, like,
right.
And that's what some people don't understand is the slow grind about things, because like, well, for some people it's a slow grind, for other people it's not, but it's just like you can't measure success just because it's not happening in a certain amount of time. Like sometimes some success takes longer, and it's just like, as long as you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing to get yourself to the position that you want to be at, instead of wallowing in your own bullshit because you don't have it now.
And that always sets people back when they do that.
Like, don't think like that. Just think about like where you were, like maybe a few months ago, this year, last year, whatever,
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, and then look at where you are now. And it's like, are you in the same place or are you in a different place?
Yeah,
Judge it by that.
And make changes based on that. So for me and Ashley's example, it's like, okay, we can look back at a couple years ago and be like, I was broke. You know, like you can look back. Me, even my cousin who's barely just about to start a university, like I told him today, I said, it's like, I want to help you make more money, but I remember when I was in your position, I didn't have any. Yeah. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. You know, like, I don't know. But in our situation, it's like, we can look back and be like, okay, we are not as broke as, because we, you know, relative in our mind, everything's relative. So it's like, we're not as broke as we were, but what did we do to get to where we are now? And all in our case, all we did was work and study. Like, all we did was work and study. So that tells us to just keep working and studying.
Because clearly it works.
Clearly it does something for us. Just like when you finish, it's like how your job keeps having you do certifications. It's like, you have to keep studying. How I have to get a license, I have to keep studying. Even though, like, after you're done, you're not going back from you might get a PhD when you're like 40 if you feel like it.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah.
We're one of those people where it's like, yeah, if I'm 40 and bored, I'll get my PhD. Or if
I just want something else to do.
Yeah. Or
at this point, I'm like, I'm cool.
I'm good. Or if we're even like balling at 35 and we don't need to study ever again, it's like, that's when I would go back and get a PhD because I personally, I hate school, but I like having something to do, like
I
actual
like
purpose.
Studying. Yeah, I honestly like it, so I don't care.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone, that's all it takes, and
learn to like it, like learning stuff, shit. Because like, if you go into every class like, oh my god, I hate this, I don't want to learn,
and there's people like that,
then it's just like, you're not gonna enjoy anything. But if you go in with an open mind and you just like, you know, you actually study the material instead of just like not paying attention, you'll probably like it.
Yeah, that bad kid shit where you're not paying attention shit died in high school. So it's like, stop trying to bring that to JC and university. Like, just go to class, study. You will be able to hang out with your friends anyway. So
and
you might as well
weed whenever you want.
Yeah, so just go study. Stop being so damn lazy. It doesn't take that long. Yeah. And this is me saying it as a 26-year-old who will never have to go back to school. So it genuinely does not take that long. Like, I'm not 30, I'm not 35. And yes, some people start late and so they're going to end later, but it's still short. It's relatively not long unless you're a doctor, you know?
Wait, fuck that.
Yeah. And now that Kylie and Jay-Z are in the same place, I'm sure they're doing the same thing, which their children's probably have their whole college fund. They have their life insurance is on point.
Children are late.
Their children are lit up, and it's gonna be the same for us when we're doing well. Our children are gonna have their college fund. There's a part of me really wants to put my kid in private school, but I just have to see where I am in life before I can
afford that shit.
Yeah, because think about it, we don't have kids now, and private school doesn't really get super important until like elementary to middle school. Because I don't know if I would want my kid in a private school for preschool and kindergarten, even though there are fundamentals taught in kindergarten. Preschool is like, I don't know, just not that serious. But
it just a bit depends on like the level of childcare, because like you hear those stories on the news where like the like babysitters or just like childcare centers doing stuff to children or letting things happen.
Did you hear the Fight Club?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I saw the video of that and I was like, oh.
I never saw the video. It was bad.
These kids was just fighting. Like, I think they put boxing gloves on them, but they were really punching each other, falling over, crying, and the lady's like, yeah, in the back. It's fucked up, but these I'm gonna be one of those parents that goes to visit the school, goes in, looks on the blogs and sees what people, because if you look at Awanda on the blogs, you don't hear the principal fuck the student. It's gonna be somewhere online.
There's gonna be something.
And so it's the same thing. I'm gonna look like what's going on here, what's the level of qualifications to the teachers you have in this school, because like I said, a lot of these teachers is going home and doing some lines of code. Like, in all honesty, this is what's really happening.
Very possible. It's like, if you do that, please don't come teach my children high. That's all I ask.
Because once you got Miss Brown, her boyfriend leaves her and she does a little line of coke in the morning and then goes to school. Man, these are young people, so I don't put nothing past nobody.
Oh, God, because people do be young as fuck being teachers, and that's what some people don't realize. And I feel like young people is reckless because they're like, oh, no, I can handle it. And it's like, nigga, you can't. Like, don't do that shit before you go take care of somebody else's kids. Like, their lives are literally in your fucking hands. Don't play with me.
Remember in elementary school, do you remember Miss Olson?
Yeah.
She was my teacher, but if I look back, I'm like, damn, she was young. And I remember I told you she cried in front of the class a couple of times. Like, we would be talking and not listening, and she'd be like, you guys just don't listen to me. And like, she was one of them simple white ladies.
Shut up.
She was so nice. I liked her so much. But I look back and I'm like, first of all, why the fuck were you crying in front of some 10-year-olds? And second of all, how old were you? Like,
I had a teacher cry in front of us in college because she was grading our papers too slow. And so somebody asked her, like, yo, when you gonna have our papers graded? Like, because you've had them for a while. And she was just like, and her voice like automatically started shaking.
What was she crying about?
Like, because she had to come in and sub for us because our real teacher, he had ran a marathon and like ended up getting internal bleeding.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like intense. So he like told us he couldn't teach the rest of the course and we were going to have a substitute the rest of the course. And it was some like weird lady. And I remember I was very mad because he was a very like the best teacher I've ever had in my life.
That always happens.
It always fucking happens.
I had my brother's teacher in 5th grade and she left and we had that fucking that weird fat guy. Remember the one who came dressed as a monk? We had that guy. Oh, you don't remember? Okay, sorry. Continue.
Bitch, what?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, so it was an English class and so we had turned in papers and she did have them for a while. And so he asked her and she was like, well, you know, I'm just really overwhelmed. I've had to come take this class over and I'm just really overwhelmed. And we were like, oh my God. And she was like, I need a minute. And she like went outside and cried. And so when she left, I turned around to the guy. I was like, bro, I was like, what the fuck?
When people come crying like that, it's like there's something going on in your life. Because ain't no way no goddamn paper gonna bring some tears to my eyes. Bitch, you ain't getting it back. Like, it ain't done.
It'll be graded when it's graded.
Right.
What else you want to know?
Who's crying? Nigga?
Just focus on the work you got now.
Right. Nigga. Shit.
Like,
as long as you don't fail, you won't fail.
She really broke down. I'm like, damn, bitch. Like, it wasn't that tough of a question. I guess, I don't know. Maybe she was like just embarrassed. I don't know. It was weird.
You can't be soft like that.
Yeah. But okay, Nina.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean this in the most non-lesbian way possible. Why is Cardi B so fucking sexy?
That bitch is fine as fuck.
She is sexy as fuck.
Okay.
Oh my God. That bitch is so fucking sexy.
You know a video is good when the first time you're watching it, you're rewinding. Bitch, my first run, I said, no, hold up. What the fuck did she? Okay, it was when she had her baby, because I don't know if it was her baby, but because it kind of didn't look like her baby. No, the color was kind of different, but it was the right size. What that
baby was.
I don't know if it was her baby. But yeah, when she had the baby, I said, what the fuck is that culture? And rewind. And then it was when she was standing on the girl's back on the little thing on the pole. Yeah. I was like, this bitch came out. But I love the way that they cut it to where they didn't show too much of her being a stripper. It was just tiny little clips.
But like, it was enough.
The intense clips were so short. And then her naked in the piano. And they were like, darn. I was like, come on, Cardi.
She's just really sexy.
Come on,
the whole little Cleopatra look. I'm with it.
Come on. And they have the nipples out in the beginning. I was like, what is going on here?
Just let life be led.
Man. Dang, that was a good video.
It really was.
Man, if you guys haven't seen the Cardi B Money video, just go watch it. Like, and if you don't like to see naked girls, something's wrong with you.
To tell you. There's a lot of ass in it.
There's a lot of just
out
naked.
there. Like, Cardi B looks really good. The only thing I don't like that Cardi B does is like how she does like her mouth when she's pronouncing her words. Like, that's the most annoying shit to me. So I just be watching the video like,
in the beginning when her mouth is wide,
yeah, I'm like, Ashley, don't look at it.
It's just like the shape of her mouth, you know?
It's the shape of her mouth and then like how big her teeth are too. And she just hella talks with her mouth. That's the thing.
Yeah, she's
very animated with it.
She needs to learn how. I'm sorry that I'm going to interrupt this subject.
Oh my God, I don't care.
So me and Ashley, like, whenever we tape, we have the TV on the back. We have the TV on in the background on mute, but we're not watching it, but it's just on. God. And there's this fucking commercial for this fucking witchcraft tape to where this nigga has a boat with no bottom and it's just tape and he's riding it across a fucking ocean. Flex tape, guys. It's 1999.
Flex on him.
Oh my god. I don't know. Go look at the reviews on this first, because this nigga had a hole. His whole boat was a hole, and he was riding
over some sharks.
He was riding.
This nigga was about that life.
Sorry, that was so funny. But I'm gonna get back to Cardi. They were so okay. First of all, I follow her publicist or whatever, and she wrote that actually they made the whole video and Cardi watched it and she was like, no, I want more. So there's scenes on there that were shot later because Cardi was like, I want more. And I'm like, good thing you did that, because there was so many different scenes in that music video.
I liked it.
That was so intense. Like,
it was very entertaining. Like, you did it, Cardi. I'm like, I see you. I see the growth.
Oh
bitch.
My god,
I see the growth.
It was so good. Like, it made me end up following the Cream agency, which is her PR's agency, and it made me end up following one other person from the team who made, because I was just like, oh, so you out here making art.
It's on.
You out here making full art, man. I was like, I need to intern for this agency. Like, you guys know how to work. And she's also PR for Offset too.
Oh shit.
So there people making fun of them chandeliers Offset was wearing on his face all weekend, and it's like, it's the same PR agency that's like put on this, designers and telling them to put on, I mean, I like them. Like, people are putting on masks now and it's like they're glamorizing robbing houses or something, but
yeah, true. And then at the same time, it's like niggas is like celebrities too. Yeah. And the main thing that like celebrities want to get a shot of is like a shot of your face. Like, they definitely always want that. Yeah. And then like their fucking lenses are bright as fuck too. Yeah. It's a lot of cameras in your face all the time.
I wonder did you see the one that Offset was wearing? It was all jewels. He just literally had a mask.
Was the one when he was in the club?
In the club.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I wonder how much that cost. Because now I think about it, I'm like, that must have been expensive. Yeah. Because it probably was, like, why would it be fake diamonds? Yeah. Or pearls. Or it wasn't pearls, but, like, it's real. It's heavy. Because these niggas don't seem like they wear fake shit. But DJ Envy was saying, like, 80% of people who flossing on the internet are using fake bags. And, like, and I'm like, you really could. Because fake Louis Vuitton looks real in a picture. Yeah. And you really could just go to the swap meet and be like,
and I think a lot of people have fake Louis, because there's like so many people that have Louis. Yeah. Unless people are really just going out and running up their credit to go get a Louis.
You can just floss with fake shit.
Yeah, you definitely can do that. Or you could be stupid and fuck up your credit and fucking
get the real shit.
Get the real shit.
Or be a sugar baby.
Let me stun on these niggas.
Until daddy wants some sugar.
So did you see the Aladdin?
That picture,
the Aladdin promo picture,
yeah, with Will Smith and those other people.
Whoever those people are,
they pulled a Cinderella with Brandy, how everyone in the family is a different race, how the son was Asian, the mom was black, and the dad was white. And what? And on Cinderella, the one with Brandy. Okay, they did that again to where like everyone is a different race. Like, they're trying to mix it up and
it's like I don't know what these niggas are.
I hope it's good. I mean, Will Smith is in it, but Will Smith also does bad movies too.
He definitely does. So, because everybody said Bright was bad. That was one of his latest movies. It was a Netflix movie.
Yeah, I watched it. It was a TV show to me. So I guess it was bad for a movie because it was just a TV show to me.
It wasn't
special.
Yeah, and it was because it's corny. That's why.
It was corny. But Will Smith is corny too.
He definitely is.
People forget that Will Smith is corny.
Look at this fucking hair. I was trying to find this picture the whole time.
Yeah, that hair is so stupid. It just looks stupid. And then
this nigga not even cute. Everybody used to think Aladdin was fine back in the day.
Aladdin
what the fuck?
is supposed
this nigga
to be
not
fine.
Even cute. Jasmine? What the fuck?
People who auditioned must have been trash.
And there's people that look like Jasmine in real life.
I'm sure Aladdin is cute to like somebody, but like you're supposed to find a fine ass nigga.
A universally fine nigga.
She's prettier though. She's pretty.
She's pretty, but she don't look like Jasmine. Like there's people in real life that look like Jasmine.
You right.
Like,
that's trash. Will Smith is the only one. And then someone was like, they said something like, all right, do you feel better? And they turned Will Smith green.
They should have turned this nigga into a clown. What the
fuck? They should have turned them all to somebody else.
Like, this shit is a no.
Yeah, it's absolutely a no. Also, random things have happened. Oh, okay. So I was listening to the Brilliant Idiots, guys. Brilliant Idiots is a podcast with Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz. And Andrew Schultz is always just joking throughout the show. Like, even if they're talking about something serious, he'll just throw a joke in there. And, like, so he's just roasting on Charlamagne's assistant the whole time, just making fun of her outfit. But she's like, whatever. And then they didn't get offended, but Andrew was like, you guys can't take a joke, and Charlamagne was basically like, you can't make jokes anymore, it's 2018, you can't make jokes, and they're all laughing. And Andrew was like, see, I'm taking comedy back. And he was like, March 2019. And then he said something like, Charlamagne has already seen it. So I'm just like, ooh, I kind of like the idea of like, comedy used to be so offensive, and it's like you roast everyone, so no one should be offended. They roast dead people, gay people, black people, every type of people with disabilities. You just roast everything. That's comedy. You make fun of things that are not happy. That's the whole point behind comedy. But because of the way the culture is going right now, people aren't allowed to say the things that they typically would say. And so Andrew Schultz is like basically taking that back, and I'm really excited to see what it is. All he said is March 2019, and I hope it's just like real comedy where people are talking like just real comedy.
Real reckless.
Because if you go to a small little comedy show at a random place, like people still say reckless shit, but it, no one sees it unless someone records it and it goes viral.
And honestly, I feel like that's like the best type of comedy. Like whenever you're like listening to something or like listening to a podcast, like definitely like vital information. When they say something they be reckless, off the I'm like, shit. Nigga, you're saying what I'm thinking, but I'm not gonna say
AJ all day.
It's just like, because it's like that's not politically.
She don't give no fucks.
Any type of acceptable, that's not.
She has no fear in her heart.
No.
Man, she really be speaking for a lot of us,
right?
And I appreciate it.
The voice of the people.
Yeah, she is really. Also, this is also random pop culture. Andy Cohen is having a baby. Yay! And like for people who don't know who Andy Cohen is, he is the creator of the Real Housewives franchise. So Real Housewives of everything.
Okay,
and
he's that
nigga. Watch What Happens Live. He actually is what made Bravo a functioning channel again, because Bravo has existed for a long time, but its ratings were super low.
Damn.
And so once he brought the Real Housewives of Bravo, which was about Real Housewives of Bravo, Real Housewives franchise to Bravo about 12 years ago, the channel started like, and I remember Bravo not being a good channel, and then starting to watch it being like, what's going on with Bravo? It's actually popping now. And now,
shoot.
So he probably is a franchise owner of Bravo. Like he probably owns part of it, because I'm like, he's made them so much money. Like just like Desus and Mero on Viceland, they had the highest rated show on Viceland, and then they left because Showtime gave them a deal. And then the CEO of Viceland said basically said Desus and Mero moved to a channel where their viewers don't own. And I was like, oh, you're saying black people don't own Showtime, like minorities and stuff?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of true. I own Showtime, but I know that a lot of people don't,
because I don't have it.
Yeah, and I just got it. But maybe they think people will get it for them, because like if you think about it, people like see like a subscription for a channel and they're like, oh, it's only $9.99 a right
month. Or they're like, oh, it's only $7.99. That's not that bad.
You can just buy one channel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can. Yeah, because I buy HBO and Stars. Those are the only two, because like I watch TV shows on those channels.
And they're good movies.
And then they just be having good shows on there in general.
Yeah.
But they probably just think that like people will buy it, and then that's the way that they'll get their support.
That makes sense.
So they could bet on that. And I don't know, if I feel the need, I might buy it just so I can watch it. And and that just means Showtime needs to step it up in other ways too, so that people will actually stay committed to it.
Right.
Because it could end up being like an influx of people, and then people like, this shit's not worth it just for one show. Like there has to be some other way I can watch this show, and then stop fucking buying the channel. That's highly likely. I mean, possible.
I wonder.
Likely.
So I guess we're just not gonna find out until like Desus and Mero gets canceled.
Yeah. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't.
Okay, so I also just found a random article like a week ago, and I was like, this is kind of cool, because I've been hearing a lot about how like, so actually someone told me this and then made me look it up. They were like, don't do the ancestry tests because they're keeping your DNA and selling it to the government. And then so I was like, oh, let me look this up. And the title of this article from USA Today was called "Took an Ancestry DNA Test, You Might Be a Genetic Informant Unleashing Secrets About Your Relatives." So basically, the Golden State Killer, also known as Joseph James.
Yeah.
He was found through these DNA tests.
Mm-hmm.
He was arrested after DNA found at one of the killer's crime scenes was checked against genetic profiles from genealogical websites that connect DNA samples. Popular genetic testing companies 23andMe and Ancestry.com are holding on to more than information about your family tree, which raises privacy concerns. But experts confirm DNA in these databases can be accessed by law enforcement and third-party companies under certain circumstances, revealing intimate information about the user's medical history and biological relationships. And so I think it was the test of someone else who was related to the Golden State Killer, and it made the connection of like, oh. And it's crazy because this picture, have you seen him? He's super old.
Oh,
he killed for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he killed for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just heard we're going to get into it because we always bring up My Favorite Murder.
That's where I heard about him on. And that's how I knew about, like, all of this, like, how he got found out.
Yeah.
And I remember the day it happened, there was an article on Yahoo, and I read it. And this nigga was in his house making, like, he was either making, like, pot roast or meatloaf or something. And he told them that his food was going to burn. Like, he finished cooking his food or some shit before they took him to jail.
He didn't give a fuck.
No.
He was crazy.
Yeah.
What was he doing? Was he going to people's houses or something? I forgot what he was doing.
He was going into people's houses, yes. And I think at first he was like watching them, and then he started like, oh, no. I believe he was raping people.
Oh, Jesus.
And like torturing them or something of that sort. And then staying around and eating at their house and then leaving. And then like then he like progressed to killing them. Let me look him up.
That's how it always happens. They go from like small crimes, and then they just like they'll go from raping and then being like, oh, if I keep raping, I'm gonna get caught. So then they go to raping and killing. Like, it's really unfortunate how these serial killers and these crazy people minds work. But that's similar to a story I heard today too. On My Favorite Murder, when I was taking a shower. This one dude, he was like, he got basically long, because it was a long story, but long story short, he got caught for like killing one person, and he got 15 years. And then so after 10 years, he got out and like was killing more people and then got life. And it's like, they said this is a cycle where they always put these really dangerous people in positions where they can get out. Yeah. And then they get out and they're surprised when they start killing more people. So you shouldn't be surprised. And so after he got arrested and his face was shown to the public, people actually started remembering him from back in the 60s. And all his trials were in the 90s and 2000s and 2008. And when his face was finally shown on TV, people came out like, this guy raped me in like 1968, you know, like, and so then they actually realized that him and another serial killer were the same person. And so he had been serial killing since the beginning of the 60s all the way into the 70s, finally got caught in the 90s, went to jail for 10 years, got out and started killing again. Yeah, and then went to jail for life. And it's like, and he had a stroke recently. But it's like, this guy was killing for 40 years before he got caught. And his name was Bible John. Because he would,
God, I never heard about him.
Yeah, he would kill people from his church, and he would meet girls at and the crazy thing, he would meet girls at the same bar. Everyone that died and went missing, he met them at the same fucking place.
And they didn't notice like people went missing.
What's
after
wrong
there?
With people? They didn't make any correlations. It was the same dude, and he was married a couple times, and his wife admitted that he was like aggressive whenever they were on their period, and every girls that he was killing, they were all on their period. So I think he was hooking up with girls if they weren't on their period and letting them go. But if they were on their period, he would like all of a sudden want to kill them. And he would leave like a tampon on their chest or like next to them. Yeah. And
you just be weirdos.
Fucking weirdos, dude.
Okay, so I found it. The Golden State Killer, he murdered 12 and raped 45.
Jesus.
Yeah. How do
45? How do you get away with 45? Oh, man, this guy's disgusting, man.
He looks disgusting. Like, so I think it's fitting, but
I feel bad for these people because it's like, I truly believe something's a little bit wrong with you, you know?
Some of these people he just murdered, other people he raped and murdered.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, he even killed a doctor. This nigga was about that life.
He didn't give a fuck.
Nah, at all. Dang, like, oh, and he was a police officer.
That's why he wasn't getting caught for so long.
He was a police officer.
He knew how to not get
That's
caught.
the
Yeah,
key.
that's what it was. Yep.
Oh my God. So
how disgusting.
Like, that's like, so this is what you're telling people they have to do. Like, if you want to be a serial killer, just be a police officer. And like, sometimes it does come down to that. That too, yeah.
If you want to kill black people because you hate black people, just become a cop.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it is. And that's why that's why I was like, I wish the good cops would either figure it out or admit it. Like, the good cops, please tell who these people are. You need to get them out. Like, they're really fucking shit up.
Yeah, and there was just like a couple incidents of like crimes that happened like between police and of course black people, and then like some girl like died at school.
Oh,
I think the headline read like girl dies at school trying to break up a fight, but I need to find it.
Oh man, I kind of feel like I remember that.
Oh, what's that girl's name that got sentenced to life for killing
the girl from our city?
No. Oh, that's a whole different story, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this girl. I think me and Nina and I talked about her before that went to either Rancho or Etowanda. Don't remember. Mm-hmm. But she was driving drunk and like speeding.
With her sister and her best friend in her car.
And she had just had a baby like maybe 2 weeks before.
Jesus Christ. She was driving drunk, went on the freeway in the wrong direction, speeding, going over 100 miles an hour. And ran straight into another car, killing 3 generations in that car. So someone, and then their kid, and then their kid. And then she killed her sister and her best friend. And she's the only one who lived. And she just got sentenced to, was it 30 years or 50 years in prison? I think she got 30.
I think she got, no, I feel like it might have been 30. Because Deanna and I were saying that's like a really long time compared to like the time that she's been alive. Mm-hmm. But, her like she like, you know, that little thing that they let them do after they get sentenced, like where they get to talk, like her speech is online. I watched it. Like, I could ask Dion to send it to me so we could watch it after.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I watched it and she's just like crying, talking about how like she would do anything like to do, like basically not done what she had did, and like she would give up her
best friend and her sister.
And she was talking about how she hasn't touched her son and he's 5 years old. Like she said, I haven't touched him since like he was, maybe, I think she said 19 days old, and now he's 5. And she was just like, I'm being here like for a really long time. And she was just like hella crying. It was hard to pay attention to because she was crying so much, and I can't do all that sniffling shit. But it's like, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, just like I genuinely feel bad for her, because it was like, think about it like this: you could be a law-abiding citizen and you make one stupid mistake, and first of all, your best friend and sister is dead, and you're going to be in prison for 30 years because you did one thing wrong. Man, that's horrifying. And I've known of multiple people who have driven drunk and gotten on the wrong side of the freeway.
That's crazy. It's like, please don't get in your car when you're like that, and just like do not drive when you're that drunk.
Just don't
please
do it.
If you driving, be a responsible adult and don't drink, or just have like one drink when you get there and that's it. Right. Because that's literally your limit when you're driving.
Yeah, when you're limit, you basically can't have one drink.
You can have one. Yeah. And that's if you're going to be there like 2 hours. Which
right.
Is likely.
2 hours min.
Yeah.
Like, geez.
Oh, Jesus.
So sad.
Oh, and the girl is Cynthia Brown. She's been in jail for like 10 years, apparently.
The one who killed she
got like forced into prostitution. She had a very rough life. Like child abuse.
Born
rape.
as a crack baby. She was born with some,
I don't know.
Not crack, but something, because her parents were doing drugs and alcohol.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Marked by abuse and drugs. She was, oh, God. Okay, so she ended up killing one of her clients out of self-defense, and she was just 16 years old. And, like, she's been sentenced to jail for, 50? I think it's life.
No, it's 51. That's what it is.
Whoa. Really?
I think it is.
I can't even find this.
The girl from Fontana is 30. This girl's 51.
It just says she'll be eligible for parole when she's 69 years old.
Yep.
And she went in there at 16.
16. Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh my God.
And it's fucked up. The only thing, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because I really was thinking about this because I keep hearing about her.
Oh no, they gave her life.
They gave her life?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they gave her 51.
No.
Damn,
so she'll be eligible for parole when she's 69.
It's like she'll be dead, guys.
Like, that's, if she don't kill herself,
she's gonna get out way before that.
I would hope.
And it's like, I don't mean to say that as like, oh, she'll be out, but I mean like just the way society has moved. Yes, people have long sentences, but once they start crossing into those ages and they've been alive, they start to let people out.
Yeah.
Sometimes people,
especially depending on what you did.
If you don't die, if you do not die in prison, because prison is also dirty, so it's easier to die there. But yeah, I was playing devil's advocate with basically like she shot him because she thought he was about to shoot her because he reached for something. But I'm like, okay, I need to hear a little bit more of the story. Like, what happened after the shooting? Did she call the police?
Yeah, like how'd it go down?
Did she take money out of his pocket and then leave? Because that makes you look very bad.
Yeah,
that's what happened with the Claremont twins. They took his money after he died. It's like, and that's why one is going to prison. So I want to know more, you know. But I obviously I don't think she should be necessarily like released immediately.
No,
but she's
been in there for 10 years.
She's been in there
that's
for
enough
10
time.
years. And then they need to put her in like a rehab place for a while because she was born into like
bullshit.
She was born into just crazy stuff happening around her all the time. Bullshit. Yeah. All she knows is crazy shit happens all the time. That's all she knows.
And my life been a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah. So she just needs freaking some rehab, you know? But yeah, I feel bad for her. It's pretty sad. There was one other article. It was just saying why a DNA data breach is much worse than a credit card leak. This week, DNA testing service MyHeritage revealed that hackers had breached 92 million of its accounts. Though the hackers only accessed encrypted emails and passwords, so they never reached the actual genetic data, there's no question that this type of hack will happen more frequently as consumer genetic testing becomes more and more possible. They might want to sell DNA back for ransom, which is very frightening. This is suggested by a professor of computer science at UC Santa Barbara and co-founder of a cybersecurity company called Lastline. They also could threaten to revoke access or post the sensitive information online if not given money. One Indiana hospital paid $55,000 to hackers for this exact reason. This data could be sold on the down low or monetized to insurance company. Ooh, that's the scariest one. Because then insurance companies, person says, I might apply for a long-term loan and get rejected because deep in the corporate system, there's data that I'm likely to get Alzheimer's and die before I would repay them. Isn't that deep?
That's crazy.
That's freaky. If people can start to estimate, like, this person might die early because of their family history, let me not give them life insurance.
That shouldn't even be fair.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And that's why it's like giving your DNA to these companies might be a huge risk.
Ooh.
I was just thinking about that. So I looked this up and this one is from TheVerge.com.
Ooh, child.
But yeah, so I wanted to do African ancestry and stuff like that. Even though I know I'm Nigerian, I want to know
what I am.
Yeah, I want to know. So I'm like, there's just these hackers and they have been selling it to the government. So now it sucks.
Yeah.
And my coworker said something else. I wish I would remember it. If I remember it, I'll say it. But she said they're using our DNA like for something else too. And I'm like, oh Lord, Jesus.
What, to plant at crime scenes?
Oh, probably. Shit. I wouldn't be surprised about that one.
Okay, wait. There is one question that I want to ask you. I don't think I've asked you this before. It was when I was on my mission trip. Like one of the people asked you was like, if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, like in an ideal situation, like what would you be doing? I don't know if I asked you that.
No, I mean, all that is an ideal situation is just making more money than I have now. But it's like, I mean, I want to own a business.
But like career wise, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I'm actually moving towards to do what I want.
Yeah.
Like I'm moving away from doing what the corporate academia system said I need to do, and I'm actually moving towards what do I want to do. So in an ideal situation, like I probably would own a business, so I would have like at least one business that I visit every once in a while, and just like I've liked to see these smaller corporate businesses where the people who own the business actually are at the business working, because it's such a small family. So I want to be the same thing where it's like I own a business, but I just ran randomly come in and just help and actually work during the day, be a receptionist, like be helpful. But there's so many different fields that I would be doing with that, so I can't really pinpoint like, oh, I want to work on this, like, oh, and some of it I don't even want to talk about because I don't want people to steal my idea. No. But yeah, I would have that, and then I would probably have something at home that I would be working doing like an educational class, like I was saying, when it comes to finance. So teaching an online class, like pre-recorded and pre-recorded and live, different rates, you know, because if you want me live, you're going to probably pay more.
You're gonna need my time.
Right. And so it's like doing stuff like that and then monetizing like that, and then like financial advising, and then like maybe consulting in the like science field or health medical field, because I know a little bit more than I knew when I graduated from college. And then I'd be like, see, these are many things, which means I want to make a lot of money. And then I would just be traveling. That's all I would be doing, just traveling the world. But I would want to like one day be on the Kardashian level where I can have a private jet, not just because I want a private jet, but because I want to be alone.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you don't want to sit next to nobody.
I don't want to be around nobody but the people that I'm traveling with.
Just make sure you get one of them bigger PJs, because it's them little ones that be fucking up.
Yeah, they say the turbulence is terrible.
I can't do it.
Yeah, and I know you can rent them, so it's like if you're actually making a decent amount of money, instead of just buying one, which buying one is smarter because you're overall saving more money.
Because I looked at the list like of the cost, and like to get a small one for like 4 to 5 people, like even in Vegas, I think it was like $3,500.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and then like one bigger than that was like $5,000, and then like there was like the bigger ones were like, oh, I don't remember, but it was ridiculous. It was like a lot of fucking money.
And to set my company up in a way where I can write things off as a business expense, you know, like
yeah, we needed this to go here.
Yeah, like Trevor Noah was the host of the World Citizens Bank thing in South Africa, and so he was able to write off his whole vacation as a business expense, even though he's from South Africa. That's so beautiful. He went to visit his family. That's beautiful. You know, so it's like I wanted to set myself up to be in that type of situation where like even if you run your business out of your house, like you're doing online videos and stuff like that, you can start writing things off in your house as a business expense, you know, so because that is your place of work, you know. So true. Just having things like that, that's exactly where I would want to be. So it's funny to say I would want to be working.
Yeah, no, like I don't ever see it in me to like not work, but it's just the kind of work that I'm doing, you
working
know?
And traveling. Like, so
I would definitely like doing traveling, and then, you know, just be able to do art more, because it's like, so if you get good enough at art, you can sell that shit. And I don't think I'm as bad as I think I am, so I would do that more. And that's what I was telling them. And then what else did I say? Oh, I was like, if I really thought about it in like medical school, I would just be an anesthesiologist. I ain't about to do that shit now, because their life does suck too. Yeah. But them niggas be paid though, and their job isn't. It's like, yeah, they keep the patient alive, but compared to every other thing to do in the room, theirs ain't that bad. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was saying. So yeah, I would still be working. Because she was just like figuratively speaking, but it's just like the art thing I know I'm gonna do. Anesthesiologist, not gonna do that. Right, never gonna do that.
And it's like, and it's funny because we want all of these things, like even paying off all our debt so we can start doing things we want. And it's like these things are actually in our future. It's just that we're not there, so we're just like.
It's kind of I'm going to work from home. Yeah, this bitch ain't driving no more. I don't know who you think I am. I'm gonna have a nice ass car that sits in my fucking driveway.
I'm gonna have one room.
That's
how
it's gonna be.
I'm gonna have a nice ass office too. You know when you go to those model homes and they be having that nice ass office in the house.
That's me.
I'm about to have one like that with like, and I want to have a gym in my house too, but in my garage. Yep. Have a 3-car garage and have that with that one car side just be a gym. The gym. Yeah. Yep. We'll get there.
It's coming. I can already see it. I already designed that shit.
I know. I have a whole notes in my phone, like what your house gonna look like, nigga. Yeah, nigga. I need to make the vision board, and then it'll be locked in.
For real.
All right, good time for a commercial break.
Yeah.
Hey Ashley.
What's up, Nina?
I found another website that has cute African clothes. Everyone knows this is huge wave of Afro punk and Afro, styles.
Embracing the heritage.
Yes, you guys have to shop Besida. It's at shopbesida.com. Shopbesida.com. To give a quick background on this company, they say, when you think of the African nation Nigeria, what image pops in your mind? If you never visited Africa's giant, then your psyche has been influenced by media portrayal, poor, corrupt, violent, etc. Yes, some of those attributes are true, but is there any place on earth without these flaws? No. There's beauty.
Did they say yes on their website, or
no,
they didn't answer?
They didn't answer. I'm answering.
I'm like, nigga, no. What the fuck we talking about?
Okay. No. There's beauty, wealth, and growth flowing through the rivers and marching on the land of Nigeria. And they're here to show you that. Yes, with clothes. Behind our unique designs is a commitment to create an impact in the place where inspiration for our garments began. Since its inception, Besida has employed local tailors in Benin City, Nigeria, to bring our designs to life. Why does this matter so much to us? In the age of appropriation without acknowledgement or appreciation, being part of the building up of the community that founder Sophia O grew up in feels full circle and ethical. We are excited that last year we acquired our first mini factory. This allows us to produce garments in-house instead of manufacturing at the tailor's various shops. This year we plan on installing solar panels in order for the building to be completely solar powered, decreasing our energy footprint and ensuring that production does not get halted by the all too common blackouts due to the Nigerian grid. And let me tell you, just from personal experience, when I went into Nigeria, like blackouts are frequent.
Oh, God.
It's like multiple a day. And you have to everyone has a generator because the power goes out so often, so you just turn on your generator when the power goes out. So they're adding solar power, so even when the power goes out, there's solar energy. Be popping. And in Nigeria it's hot, so it's like they're gonna get that solar energy, you know. So smart, Besida.
Okay, she out here trying to be the GOAT.
They lastly said, we are ever proud in the environment of fast fashion to produce beautifully made styles that are ethically created. So know that for every order you've purchased, you've helped us to make history as a small woman and Black-owned business. We appreciate your support and look forward to many more moments we get to share fabulous styles with you. And let me tell you guys, go to the website.
It's cute as fuck.
This stuff is super cute.
There's a shirt you could wear 4 ways. And one of the ways is as a skirt.
Like,
how often does that happen?
They have a suit that I could come in a business meeting and look
popping.
They'd be like, so she's rich.
Oh, so she works here. Okay,
so she's a boss. Exactly.
So who are we interviewing today?
Like, I literally saved this in my phone for when you need a Nigerian outfit, buy it from here immediately. So you guys can find them at shopbesida.com. It's shopbesida, which is the same on Instagram at shopbesida, and their Instagram, their Facebook. Say it like 3 times.
Inception.
Their Facebook is facebook.com/shopbesida. So it is the same on all platforms. Shopbesida.com, at shopbesida, facebook.com/shopbesida. And we'll put all that information in our description. We hope you get something from there. Send us pics when you get it, because we know you're going to be looking fly. Wow. And back to the conversation. So last week we had a Google voice from a special listener.
I forgot to tell you.
What?
We had another one today. They called back. They called back the day after. So the inmate, the call we received from an inmate, called us again. And they're like, yeah, it was just a message about accepting the charges. I low-key want to see who it is, but then I low-key don't. Like, because that's low-key scary.
It is scary.
That shit's kind of scary.
I don't want to have... I'm sorry. I just...
What? I just got reminded, too, because I forgot to fucking do
what?
Something scary happened this week. I was out walking my dog, and, like, I saw this old, beat-up, like, Grand Am. I think, like, a silver Grand Am driving up the street. I'm just like, fuck. And, like... The person was staring at me. It was getting dark. Oh, okay. It was like just starting to get dark. yeah. And so I was walking Trevor down on like the side of my house, and then this car comes up, and I'm like, oh my God, the person's staring at me. And so they drive past me, and like, so I get Trevor, and like, I'm trying to walk back to my front door as fast as I fucking can, because like, I don't want anybody talking to me. Why does the car like get up to like by your house and turn around and come back?
I hate that.
Nigga, I was so fucking close to being inside my door. I was so fucking pissed. Like, so close to being inside my door, and all I hear is, excuse me. Nigga, what the fuck you want? Like, so I turn around, I'm like, I just turned around and I looked at him, and like I'm like halfway inside my door, and I'm continuing to close it, and he's like, I just wanted to let you know you're very beautiful.
Oh my god! I was like, what levels of thirst? Oh my god!
The trick gets worse, and I'm just like, thank you, like whatever.
Was it a black guy?
Yes. And then he was like, by chance, are you single? I was like, no, I'm not. And if I was, like, you really think I'm
don't pull up in front of my house? Yeah.
No, and don't fucking turn around. Like, if you was gonna say something, you should have said it before you fucking passed me. Like, don't pass me. Weird. Turn around, come back, and say something to me right when I'm walking inside my fucking door.
Are you single?
You're weird.
What the fuck? It's like people can't just live their lives without hitting on someone. That's the weird thing to me. It's like, why? There's people that you can see and think are attractive and not have to hit on them. Like some people, it's like you're pulling up on a girl who's in front of her house and you stopping to say, are you beautiful? Are you in a relationship? You don't even know me. I might be crazy.
Right? My sister said I should have been like, hey, what's going on? Like, just talk to him in the man voice. And honestly, I thought about it after the fact, and I'm like, I wish I would have, so I could see what his face would have looked like.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah, like, what's going on, man?
I feel like you was gay. What's up, fam?
What up, my nigga? That would have been hilarious.
No, I got a bitch.
You don't see this oversized t-shirt, nigga? Because I literally always have on an oversized t-shirt. That's literally what I live in.
Dang, that's so crazy.
Yeah,
I never see these people just because I never be in front of my house. So.
Yeah, that's why I hate taking my fucking dog out. But that nigga don't listen. Like, if you let him out without a leash, you don't fucking listen. So if you take him on a leash, it makes the experience way less longer. Like, it's way shorter when you put him on a leash. So it's like, that's why I did that shit, because I wasn't trying to be outside long, and then that shit happens. Man, fuck
it's like, you didn't even ask for directions or anything. That's what I was hoping he was just asking for. Like, maybe you just need directions somewhere.
If you don't have navigation on your phone, don't even speak to me. First of all,
right?
If you need to ask me for directions, don't speak to me.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I think
especially
about it,
since we're not we're not even in a populated area, my nigga. No,
people are annoying.
Okay, but sorry, I totally interrupted you.
It's okay. This is some viewers, especially men, have to understand that women are sick of this shit.
Definitely sick of this shit.
But I mean, there are also women who think it's a huge compliment in general to get hit on. So some people really take that shit to heart. Like, yeah, I was getting hit on tonight. It's like, no.
Like, in no situation do I want you to talk to me.
You are just a vagina to him. So.
Okay, the TV, I can't. Can you change the channel?
Them shit gross, man. What the fuck? Have you guys seen the Carbonaro effect?
This nigga has caterpillars crawling on the counter.
Okay, so we had an inmate call in a couple times.
Yes.
Trying to talk to us, and we can't talk to him.
Sorry, my nigga.
So, but what we did say is we're going to give him information on how to find a job with a criminal record. And so there was two sources I found, which one was Wikipedia, because I like how they do the little breakdowns with the pictures. Mm-hmm. And then one was from Business Insider. The Wikipedia one was a little annoying because it was like, you're telling me shit I already know.
I know.
Like, it was
but not everybody knows that.
Yeah, like this Wikipedia said, know your rights. So in some cases, you don't have to tell your potential employer about your history in cases such as like your arrest is pending or you're going through a pre-trial adjudication.
What?
Adjudication for an offense that is
whatever that shit means.
Whatever, a minor drug offense, or it's been erased. Your offense has been erased, be it by like a certificate of rehabilitation, or you were convicted in juvenile court. And then know which of your offenses are on your record, so you're not reporting an offense that isn't even on your record. You know, like small things, like things you did as a kid or blah blah blah. Because kids will steal as like teenagers and that shit won't be on their record as adults. And it's like, but they'll still mention it on their thing and then won't get the job. It's like, nigga, you don't have to tell it. And then know what employers are allowed to consider. So for most employers, it's illegal to immediately and completely disqualify anyone with a conviction or an arrest record. This is because many ethnic minorities, such as African Americans and Latinas, have been over-criminalized by society and are disproportionately impacted by such a policy. I'm glad that Wikipedia is aware of this, you know. Talk to personal connections. See who you know, someone who owns a mom and pop, someone who might just be looking for someone to clean the plates after, someone who looking for a busser in the restaurant. I also, in the Business Insider, when I was scanning it, they did say like restaurants and stuff like that hire a little bit more often for like buses because like you're just moving plates around. You're not handling money, but you're still moving fast and you're still being a help to the team. It also says network, obviously LinkedIn, stuff like that. In many cases, having personal connections.
Ask somebody to help you with your LinkedIn.
Right.
If you was in jail.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're in there for a really long time.
And don't use a jail picture in your LinkedIn. And don't use a selfie either.
Please, no.
Men take terrible pictures.
They do. And if you have like pictures on your Instagram from being in prison, when you get out, delete that.
Delete all of it.
You shouldn't even have it right now.
You can archive.
Yeah, just archive that shit to remember your life.
I don't know why you would want to remember that shit,
but it's a part of you, so I guess so. But do not have that shit on your fucking Instagram.
Right. All of that. Yeah, that is true. You need to clean out all your social media, clean out your Facebook, look for all posts that might say something that you don't want people to know about. I'm doing that now as a professional because I don't ever want it to come back to me, but I didn't do it anytime recently. I did delete pictures that I did delete pictures that might not be considered professional, but I'm not one of those bitches putting my ass on the counter. No. And I'm not one of those bitches. But I remember a long time ago I went through my Facebook, maybe like a year or two ago, and just looked for if I said anything crazy, because even it's funny now, like Kevin Hart's getting in trouble for something he said 10 years ago, and I was looking back and it was like I didn't never said anything obscene or like homosexual or homophobic or anything like that. But I was like, I could take this out. Like, I'm writing with too much slang. Like, the whole thing is slang. Because it got popular in, like, high school to write, like, really stupid. And so I, like, deleted some of those and stuff like that. So it's like, go through all of your public profiles and delete anything that, won't make you look good. Another one says, seek out positions that might afford you a chance to work behind the scenes. So you might have a good chance to get jobs in maintenance, upkeep, restocking shelves, etc. You may not be able to get positions which may have cash handling authorities or put you in social situations.
That makes sense, though.
It said employers in restaurants and bars are often understanding of past criminal records. Start small and work your way up. So basically this section is saying apply for jobs that are paying you under what you would typically get if you weren't arrested. Like just find some place that will give you a job so that you can have a work history. And I was like, that's actually very smart. Like, yes, you're not going to be paying enough. You won't be, everyone was broke going through high school. So we all know what it means to be broke. I mean, most people know what it means to be broke. And so it's like, take jobs that you are overqualified for, even with a criminal past. Just something to say, hey, I go to work, I've worked here for this long, and I haven't gotten fired, I haven't gotten in trouble, I haven't stolen money, I haven't done anything wrong. Because then when you apply for the next place, they're like, oh, well, he got out of jail and he's been working, and I called his boss, and his boss said he was a great employee and he was on, and obviously be on time. You can't be a criminal and be late all the time. Like, what the fuck else are you doing?
Like, my nigga.
Nigga, get your life
committing crime.
Shit.
That's exactly what they're gonna think. Like, if you're not on time for working, you're a criminal. They're like, oh, so you haven't learned. You're out there committing crime.
You still criminaling.
Yeah. Okay, and then super random thought I had, like, when we were talking about the Google Voice number, like, how the person from the jail has called us 2 times. What if it's, like, somebody that we talked about that, like, committed a crime and they're, like, calling us? That would be so fucking scary. I don't know why I thought about that.
I'm like, I don't want nobody to know where I live because... just for that reason. Like, and when you become a public figure, I always wonder about all these public figures. Like, you live in a normal house in a normal neighborhood, it might be gated, but you know how easy it is to get into it. A gated neighborhood in most communities,
but they be having security and shit, so
it's
a little bit better
than bootlegged. Like the bootlegged gated ones, you just put a code in and all you got to do is pull up to the right of the gate, wait till someone pulls in, puts their code in, and then go.
And I've seen somebody, like, I went with David somewhere. He was, like, surveying a house or a piece of land for, like, his aunt or some shit. And, like, there's this gated community. And it's so funny. He was trying to find a way in. So he, like, hopped the fence. And then maybe, like, 5 minutes after he hopped the fence and went in to, like, go take the pictures, somebody comes in a Mustang, this nice-ass Mustang. And he fucking, like, pulls the gate open, like, for cars to go through with brute force. And then, like... he drives in really fast before the gate closes. And I'm like, yo, we could have done that. Like, we had 2 people and didn't know this. Because, like, we had seen coyotes and shit. So I was just like, wow, we really could have had life easy and didn't know.
See, that guy already knew the secret. He was like, man, just peel this shit open.
He's like, I got the keys. Yank that shit.
I want to live in a gated community that has the security guy. Like that's because I'm like,
that checks you in.
Yeah, because I'm already a paranoid person. I would love to have more security. I would still have security cameras around my house just because I found out that it's not that expensive.
Yeah,
but like it would. Yeah, the guy who has the clipboard and he's like, "What's your name? Whose house are you going to?"
See your driver's license.
Right. Okay. Let me see your license. Make a copy of that shit. Like. Man, I would love that. And then the funny thing is it works well because if they have the security guy on the inside, then they have security on the inside just looking at license plate numbers, and it has to match something that has already been logged into the system. And it's like, that's a great way to make sure that everyone who's there belongs. But I mean, people want to get in, they'll
find a way to get in
all reality. But I love security. Also, this thing says, be honest about your history. Please don't lie on your application.
No, please don't. That's definitely gonna get you fired. Like, if you get the job, or just get you disqualified once they find out.
Like, we're all down with finessing your resume and doing what you can.
That ain't it.
But as a criminal, it's a little different because you've already been proven to not be trustworthy in society. So to then proceed by lying to get a job, that won't help you. Also read the application carefully just to make sure that you're doing everything it should be. Also, options are contact a nonprofit or agency that specializes in helping individuals with a criminal record find employment. I didn't even know
there were those.
Yeah, and even just all these employment agencies, these random ones that you see, little suites, every random shopping center. Go in there, and that's their job, is to find you jobs. So you might be in a warehouse, but a warehouse is just, it's a work. It's a work history.
Yeah.
And then
you're not being a criminal again.
They also say, try to get an offense sealed or expunged from your record. Even if you committed an offense as an adult, you can try to get an offense sealed or expunged from your record. Ask your attorney, public defender, or your parole probation officer whether you may be able to get the offense expunged, which means removed, from your record. If you are successful, then you can legally answer no to conviction questions. Isn't that cool?
I didn't even know you could do that.
And then other random options are like employ yourself, becoming a skilled laborer such as electrician, plumber, barber.
Okay.
So.
You could be a barber in jail and outside.
I've definitely seen stories of successful barbers who had a conviction record.
Yeah,
and that's how they. Guys. Yeah. Most state licensing boards will have a list of criminal convictions that may pose a barrier to entering a specific profession. That's pretty cool. For example, a person wishing to become a cosmetologist would likely have trouble getting licensed if he or she had a conviction involving children, sexual misconduct, or personal assaults.
Makes sense.
This is because a cosmetologist often has direct contact with the public in unsupervised settings, so a history of crimes against people could pose a threat. Consider what you're good at. You probably need another job while you're getting your business on the feet. Also, consider joining the military. Depending on the type, number of offenses, and length of time since your offense, you may be able to get a waiver that will allow you to enlist. Waivers are easier to get with misdemeanors and nonviolent offenses. Multiple felony convictions are usually an automatic, I know it's other way, are usually an automatic disqualification, as are convictions for distributing or selling illegal drugs. And it's funny because I know people who were drug dealers who never got caught who are now in the military.
Damn.
That's so funny. I mean, and they're doing great. Volunteer, you can have that on your resume.
That looks good.
And then think about your options while you're incarcerated. Getting your education, like your GED, vocational training, culinary training, retail, anything.
It's so sad how common it is for people to need to get their GED in jail.
Yeah.
Like, that just shows
the correlation.
The correlation of not having an education and ending up in jail. And then just why is that? Like, the fact, for some of the crimes, I'm pretty sure it's they were too stupid to even know what they were doing was going to have these type of consequences.
Behind many crimes is a lack of intelligence. It's always it's so sad because I remember watching the first 48 and seeing a lot of those interviews, and I'm like, wow, you dropped out in middle school.
Yeah,
you are not intelligent.
And you notice the cities they do it in, it's Louisiana,
Miami.
And then isn't there one in Texas too?
There always is the most ghetto
the ghetto places.
Is it in Miami is the most popular one?
Yes,
or is it Atlanta?
Miami has the highest death toll.
Jesus, Miami is just stressful.
Miami's
you still haven't been there yet, have you? Niggas in Florida are weird. They're different, man. They are different. It's the drugs. Just like when we were in Houston, we're like, what drugs are you using?
When we seen that nigga leaning,
Oh, yeah. Remember when that nigga like was walking away and we're like, let's just get to the car, get it. And that nigga started walking towards us and we just turned around.
We ran back inside the store.
I was like, nope.
I was not about to get in no fight with no bum.
Not tonight. No. That nigga might have mighty strength and just rape both of us at the same time. You know them drugs be making niggas weird.
Right.
Man, I ain't got time.
Turning into the fucking Hulk.
Man. Okay, a few other options for you guys is contact a local advocacy group for people just getting out of jail and prison. These groups can help you find and apply for positions that don't require a squeaky clean record. To find a local group, ask your probation or parole officer or look in line. Hopefully your probation parole officer isn't an asshole. Right. I know some of you guys have assholes for probation officers. And then let's see. And then that was mostly from Wikipedia. From Business Insider, they were mentioning how like hiring authorities kind of just want to know how long ago was the violation, how old was the person when the crime was committed, you know, things like that really will affect. If your crime was a long time ago, you actually look better than someone who like just committed it 6 months ago, you know. The bad thing about the past, especially a criminal one, is that you cannot change it. So how do you deal with a conviction while looking for a job? First and foremost, find the most succinct and professional way to describe what happened. Stumbling over
you better use the word incarceration. Don't be like, I was in jail.
Right. Stumbling over your explanation or droning on about all the things you did leading up to an arrest will be problematic. You need to know what your record will show. Take ownership of your past and have a transition statement or two about what that experience taught you, how it strengthened you, or how you have changed. They're not advocating sugarcoating your offense, but conveying sincerity and evidence of change will go further than avoidance and rambling. You know, timing is everything. Don't walk into an interview and immediately announce your record, but don't get to the offer stage without addressing it either. In general, give the interviewer an opportunity to like you and be impressed with your professional qualifications. If you aren't a match for the role, criminal or not, you're not getting hired.
Watch, it's gonna be like as soon as you tell them, they're gonna stop smiling. You know, like when you be talking to somebody and they abruptly stop smiling.
Their smile just melts off their face.
It's just like,
and then they just shift, their legs shift or something. Like there's a movement of like.
They start playing with their papers on their desk. Yeah. Like, nigga, it's over.
Or they start writing something and you're like, fuck.
Oh yeah. Like you'd be like that nigga off Atlanta, like just get up and smack everything off the desk when he immediately was told that he wasn't right for the position. Nigga, if your waves are that low on your forehead, you don't deserve anything.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Niggas be tired, B.
That's the weed.
Nigga, I can't wait to take a nap.
Okay, and they also said there is no need to share information too early if the interview isn't going well. Once you see something, sorry, we're not laughing at y'all, but like
the wording of this is just funny.
And people make dumb mistakes like this, so it's kind of funny thinking about it happening.
So last year I didn't work because I was incarcerated. Like, damn, we gotta get straight to it.
Like, man, you know. But no, don't do that.
You know how the law is against us brothers. You know,
man. Oh, I mean, I wasn't even selling that much weed. They still got me. Like, it's like, no, nigga. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, I went to jail for selling weed. I mean, I was selling it. I know, like, when they caught me, I was selling it.
But I don't even do it like that. That was just one time.
It ain't even like that, though.
I just needed money. And they're like, well, so what you gonna do here when you need money? What the fuck? That's a terrible excuse.
I'll pick up extra shifts whenever I can.
You'll pick up shit and take it home too. I feel like as an interview,
if you work at a grocery store, they go, "Oh, you gonna steal some fucking plastic bags?"
Right. Huh? It's hard to interview. I mean, it's hard to hire a felon at a grocery store because nigga, you have everything they need. Like you have.
No matter what type of drugs it is, you have every single thing that they fucking need.
Like, nigga, like, I don't even need shit, and I would think about stealing if I worked at Stater Brothers. Let me take one of these
right, a discount ain't enough.
Right.
Like, what the fuck I need a discount for?
I can live in the back of this Stater Brothers and be cool. Like, what the fuck? You got my food, you got my toiletries, you got my fun, you got my vegetables. Okay, but...
you got money in that register? No, they be locking them shit.
Like you actually have like, cash.
You're like, I need my check early.
When the Brinks truck comes, he's like, let me just stick this place. I'm gonna just bring a gun. I'm gonna make it work.
You fucking die.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Sorry, guys. This is not a joke.
Are we gonna endorse?
I know. What's wrong? I'm talking about I would steal. What the fuck? I'm never going to work at Steel Brothers. The funny thing is their headquarters is out here, so I ain't never getting a job there. Like, bitch, we heard you was going to steal from us.
Bitch, we supposed to tell criminals how to not be criminals.
Sorry.
And we over here coming up with a whole fucking plan on how to be criminals.
It's not funny, y'all. It's not funny. Okay.
It's just hella funny.
They also said there's no need to share information too early if the interview isn't going well. Once you see signs that you're good, that is funny. It's like I'm trying to read it. It's funny.
Like, why would you say that? Like, if it's not going well, you just supposed to hide that shit?
Like, she looking at you and, like, she already don't like your answers, and then you're like, oh, yeah, I robbed a bank 3 years ago. But let me
I ain't like that no more.
But I promise I gave the money back. Sorry, okay, I'm gonna skip that line because that line is funny.
God damn.
Once you see signs that you're a good match for the role and will be asked for a second interview, it might be time to speak up.
But what if you don't and you get a second interview, and then at the second interview you gotta be like, look.
No, they're saying once they say. Well, that's the thing.
Because sometimes you could think shit went bad and it didn't.
And the thing is, they don't always say you're going to have a second interview until like a week later they call you and let you know. So they're basically saying at the end of your interview,
just drop the bomb.
Just be like,
we're going to leave you with this.
So I know you haven't discussed this, but I do have, and this is how you guys should word it, by the way. Don't be like, and also,
by the way,
I got a conviction. You should be like, just so you know, I wanted you use, proper words that don't sound so aggressive. Just be like, just so you know, I wanted you to be aware ahead of time I have a prior conviction due to this. I've been rehabilitated and have had no offenses since that point, and I'm only moving forward to advance my life, my education, my experience, my career.
Okay, well, we're not gonna proceed with your application. Thank you for trying. Here you go.
Man, fuck that. Lift up the table. You punch that bitch in the face. Wow, that's so bad.
No, you just gotta be like, what did I do wrong? After
right. That's
like,
what you're supposed to do.
What happened?
Yeah, be like, is there anything that maybe advice you can give me to in my future interviews be able to land a job similar to this?
Yes, don't be a fucking criminal.
Man, fuck him. Okay.
It's like, just wait till that shit's off your record.
It says if you have a felony or a more serious misdemeanor, you should bring it up before accepting a second meeting. So I guess if they call you, you can say like, can I talk to them? And then they can be like,
oh, never mind.
Yeah, I see. If your interview ends and they call you, I would wait till I get to the second interview.
I wouldn't tell them over the phone.
Yeah, because you might be telling the fucking hostess. Like, the hostess could be calling you, like, right? At the restaurant or whoever the secretary is. Like, they be calling you, like, oh, yeah, can you come in? Yeah, I got a conviction. She's like, I'll let the manager know.
Yeah, not going to know how to handle that.
Yeah, it's usually not the manager calling you. Sometimes it is, but not always. Also, make sure to always say thank you for your time. I would really like to accept your invitation to move forward in the hiring process. I wish I did not need... Oh, this is an example, actually. Okay. I wish I did not need to say this, but I want to be upfront with you from the start. I have a criminal background due to X offense. It happened Y years ago, and here are the steps I've taken or amends I've made to make sure I am never in that place again. I would like the opportunity to explain further how I have grown, changed, or learned from my bad decision, and I am happy to answer any questions you may have. Then do your best to stop talking and wait for a response. Some managers may end the discussion and wish you luck, but you may find that other managers will appreciate your honesty and want to move forward. If you have a less serious offense, typically a misdemeanor, not involving violence, aggression, fraud, or theft, in other words, nothing that would pose a risk or threat to your employee, you can proceed more slowly. Of course, when asked directly if you have a conviction in person or an application, honesty is the best policy. Mm-hmm. So guys, I hope that was a little bit helpful. I know this isn't for everyone, and I hope no one listening gets arrested in the future.
Right.
For anything too crazy that they would have to admit to an employer. But there are many ways to get a job after having a criminal conviction. And it seems like the best way is to start small and to be honest. And obviously something they didn't mention here in both articles is to be very professional, because that's like a given. But depending on your where you grew up and how your life, you might not necessarily know how to come to an interview. So hop on the internet,
get on YouTube University.
Yeah, right. YouTube University, and look up like how to dress to an interview, how to present yourself in an interview, all those things. Bring strengths, bring your white person voice. I know it's unfortunate, but you definitely have to bring your white person voice. So this is a good time for look at God. Do you have one?
Yeah, I do actually. I already saved like my first month's rent.
Yay.
And then what was I gonna say? I think I wrote it in my phone. Oh man, why are all these people calling me? Oh no, that's the one I wrote in there. There was something else, but I forgot it. So. Oh, it's almost Christmas. Too. Yeah, that's always a good time.
And for me, I made a list of like all the things I need to do, like just a whole bunch of errands that need to be ran. And that list took me almost 3 weeks to finish. But I just got to the end of it yesterday by meal prepping, which was the last final thing to do apart from like grocery shopping and everything else on my list. And it's like it's finally there, which is good because it's not 2019 yet. Which means I'm on track to, start studying for the CFA exam once the new year comes around. Because that was my goal. I had no intention to actually start studying for that shit until 2019. Because they say it takes 3 to 4 months to study, and I gave myself 6 months. And so 6 months will begin in January. And so that's nice. Now it's like work on the vision board and work on the things that we need to do with the podcast, with our careers and stuff, like everything. So 2019, I feel like I'm going in there strong. I'm not going in with a resolution like, oh, I don't do resolutions.
Me either.
It's low-key bullshit.
It's stupid.
It's almost too much pressure for people. That's why they don't do it.
And then that's why I don't like how you like have to wait to start doing something. Like, why the fuck you gotta wait for the new year? Just do it.
Yeah, the gym is gonna be trash for all of January.
Oh, that's why I can't wait.
Yeah.
My apartment. Oh, that might be packed too though. Yeah. But it's 24 hours and I could literally go at any time.
Right, you can go in the middle of the night. Yeah, so it's like the gym is going to be in trash until February because there's going to be too many people in there all the time because people think they're all of a sudden going to change their lives. But it's just like, it's too much pressure, everyone. Just like pay your bills. You should have
started working it in beforehand.
Just start working out whenever.
Yeah.
So you're not beating yourself up. Don't focus on what other people are doing. Just do it. Period. But yeah, so next year, starting strong. I'm excited for it.
Yep. I can't wait for next year so I could see what the fuck I'm about to do with my life.
Yeah, and next year seems like buying a house year for both of us. Oh, yeah. Because I decided once I pay off the debt, my debt goal is April. So it's like once that's paid off in April, I'll start to look. And that's when you were saying interest rates should be dropping around March anyway. So that's perfect for me. I might have to do FHA just because the houses I want, I would have to put $80,000 down. And that's just not realistic even for a couple.
Yeah.
There are couples who can do it. But like in a normal average millennial couple in California cannot afford shit like that. So it's like, it just seems like FHA is going to be the more reasonable way to get the house I want when I want. Once my debt is paid off. Yeah. So make sure you listen to us on Apple Podcasts. Just search Young and Gettin It Podcast. There's no G at the end of Gettin. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Also, you can find us on SoundCloud.com/WeAreYAGIP. SoundCloud.com/WeAreYAGIP. Please follow us. Comment. We'll comment back. Thank you for the listens and the following and subscribing and all that stuff. Also, we're on YouTube.com. Just search Young and Gettin It Podcast. There's no G at the end of Gettin. Please subscribe and comment on us. Watch us Breakfast Club style. We're also on Google Play, Stitcher, and Pocket Casts.
And you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at YAGI_podcast. Or you can find us on Facebook.com/YAGIPOD. We also have our website, which is www.weareYAGIP.com, which has links to all the socials that we just mentioned. And then if you'd like to contact us, you can hit us up on our email, which is Ashleyandninapod@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us on our Google Voice number, which is 323-486-3811. Hit us up on there. Sorry, it can't be people that are in jail because we actually have to be able to respond to you. So hit us up because if you talk, we talk back.
Yeah. Episode 58 in the books.
Peace.